Fire and Ice. We are going over to District, which to me is a pretty standard Vanquish map. It has played very well for them in the past. We'll see if they can come out on top in this situation. But for now, Jacob, give me your initial thoughts as they roll out of spawn.
Well, you know, Vanquish likes to play aggressive towards the top. I think that F&I is going to match them, kind of like a 2-1-1 going down. But don't let that distract you how important that boom shot is. But it's Vanquish. They're setting 3 players over. They're trying to get that early lead, and they think holding back Xysho and getting that cross angle along with the Acells is going to be enough to keep that boom shot off. But look at Fearzly flanking around, trying to use those instants, but he misses. Not the perfect usage, not exactly what I would expect, but he does have the angle, and he's going to use it to finally take out Xysho, which could hopefully lead to the boom shot.
These new gamer tags are something else, Jacob. They're something else. They are a thing. I think that's the best way I can. Do you really think I would have approved this nonsense, this shenanigan?
No, I actually don't. There would have been no numbers involved in this situation.
It would have just it would have been their name. It just would have been their name. I'd have been like, you better put your name on it, boy. If you gonna be revving, you better put your name on it. But Toti 71. Toti 71. That's what I'm calling him. He's like a robot from Star Wars now with that name. Instead of R2D2, he's BTO 71. I got it. I'm calling him that all game.
And that's why they were late. They just needed to recharge. They had to make sure that their batteries were on 100%. Rightfully so, though. They do come off hot here. They got that early boom shot, but it was the early lead, that 3-man aggression from Vanquish that got them the overall lead in this matchup. A 10-second separation, and already they're set up to defend.
I love this. The early aggression by Vanquish has gotten him into the hill and has gotten a little setup here. It's going to be the linchpin. It's going to be Precision. If Precision can stay alive in that back cubby corner, maybe get a sneak kill here. But they look like they're going to try to go for the 2v1 on him. Beautiful playback. He gets the down on the first one on Xploidz. Lancer damage getting the second down as well. And now you see BTO 71 getting taken down and around that corner. He's going to go out. And my God, Dyslexic has butchered his name in some way, shape, form, or fashion. He's going to be fighting up from the pergola. They get the respawn at the pergola as well, so Vanquish has switched the side of the map. Let's see what they can do here. Flash out. They're going to try to push that player in the juice out, and the Acells actually gets a kill, I think, in the middle of the map.
And they get number 2. Get number 3 on Dyslexic as well. Xysho, the only player to fall. And that's one thing I would say that at least Conor McGregor, that's like, they go ahead, they talk the talk, they walk the walk. They're not afraid to entertain.
I don't know if he's walking anywhere.
I don't know if Conor's walking anywhere. Well, maybe not Conor this time around, but it's the notorious effort that he's known for. And that's exactly what Vanquish is known for. It doesn't matter if they get a hard start. It doesn't matter if they have a slow start. They're going to let their opposition know how they feel about him in game, showing absolutely no respect. Rightfully so. 100 points to 24. Vanquish off to a big lead here, and Hndles continues that one going. Turns and burns, takes out one. Dyslexic was able to stagger out the deaths, but how much can you gain from that? Because you have Acells deep into the spawn. If you keep wasting too much time, you're just going to allow them to spawn behind you and thwart these plans.
Here they come into this hill. You're going to see Fearzly taking the backside of that cubby, that garden, and now Xysho's going to step up, make sure they don't gather up too many points on this one. Beautiful shot there by Dyslexic. Hndles is coming across the middle of the map, and this has been a great retake by the side of Fire and Ice. Acells goes for a little backslide, or excuse me, Hndles goes for a backslide. Acells is still trapped down here inside of the respawn, looking for them to get the close spawn, and outside Fearzly is waiting for them in the middle of the map. BTO 71 better be careful. He's going to get taken down to the backside of that Rose Garden. Precision has been lanced out. They're going to have to trade out the team revives because 3 Lancers are greater than 1, and they're going to get a bunch of downs and a bunch of damage. Here comes the flashes going for the stun, and now the retake coming out. Acells with a back A, trying to get a sneak kill onto somebody. Will get one down. Won't be able to pick the meat shield either, so this is going to be a big hill hold by Fire and Ice. They're going to roar back into this one with a decent amount of points.
Yeah, they have to go back to back on this one. Vanquish already has the low portion of the map, which gives them the early advantage onto this next hill. It's going to be up to Fire and Ice to figure out which angles they want to use to go ahead and fire back as Xysho gets the secondary spawn instance, immediately puts it to use. That's just going to stall for now, but you can already see they're sandwiched around. They're ready to go ahead and push back once more. Dyslexic gets the reinforcement, but Fearzly, ill-advised, hops over the cover, gets his life taken away, and that's going to buy Vanquish even more time in this situation here as the newly spawned boom shot is up. Xploidz falls. He was throws that lone player into the middle. So VQ gets both of the freshly spawned weapons, the incendiary and the boom shot, and is going ahead and taking the lead even further.
See, Acells down here, BTO71 getting cleaned up by Hndles. Oh my God, that's a plant. That is, he's trying to show Baird that fauna. That's all. He's like, this is indigenous to the area. It's a fantastic plant. Doesn't require much attention. That's all Hndles was doing right there. That's all he was doing. We're trying to show him the plant life in District. You know what? Good on him for trying to.
HGTV.
That's right.
Watching some HGTV. Hndles gaming television. You thought nice boom shot over the top from Acells though, and there goes a down to be the hero for Hndles.
No. Is he?
I was about to say. I'm thinking the same thing. Xploidz forced to turn, forced to hide. 100-point lead for Vanquish, and they're just bleeding this next hill dry, and already being the first team to run up to the next hill simultaneously. Xploidz, he has to play his cards right here. He has to play it perfect because he could play a buster towards the back with a good cross, but goes to the front side. BTO7 does get taken out. That is going to be Toti falling to Hndles, and early control goes on over to Vanquish. Fire Nice, I don't know what they need to do. Colin, maybe you'll have an answer, but I do know they need to stop the bleeding.
Yo, Hndles is on it right now. This man is on one. He is feeling himself something fierce. It's like every kill has been a little bit of a love that my man is just trying to showcase at this point. They're going to try to pressure out into the spawn. BTO71 is going to get taken down first. Now Dyslexic over the cover. He's going to get cleaned up by Acells. Acells has the angle on the next, but they don't even need it. They don't need him to shoot over the top. They're going to get the kill on him as well. They're going to cross the 250 with this pretty quickly. I mean, this is 30 seconds left. It's going to be 250 to 75. And this is that situation where you are going to have to just win every single hill from here on out. But it doesn't look like that's going to be able to happen.
Yeah, especially with that newly spawned boom shot up. It almost even looks like they're just trying to bait it out for Fire Nice, and rightfully so. If you notice, they're playing individual. They're not going ahead and taking their steps wisely, trying to slow the game down. You can catch them off guard in a situation like that, but the hill is going to be on the other side of the map, so that's where Fire Nice needs to decide as well. Do you play for the boom shot? Try to take early control of the hill. Which thing is worth the sacrifice here, as you have to play perfect? It feels like for Fire Nice, you might even have to go for both.
What Fire Nice is doing is setting up inside of that info. They're going to try to get shots onto those players rotating in through the bandstand, but the player down in info is going to open things up for them to rotate across the map. Now you see Xploidz trying to go for the 90-degree angle, trying to play the verticality. He's going to come in from behind. Beautiful shots on with the Lancer. Gets the down on precision. Now the last three players at the bottom of the map are going to be out in no man's land. Really, they're going to get lancered out and angled out. The boom shot goes over the top, but doesn't get anybody. So this should be a good initial, and however many points they can rack up in this situation, they will take advantage of. It could get them to about 140.
Yeah. Might have won that fight once, but you need to honestly turn it to DJ Khaled, because you need another one. You need another one. You need another one. You need to play to perfection here. There goes a trade. Acells to Toti. Dyslexic gets one. They're doing a good job, though, Colin. They're trying to shift the momentum the best that they can. But with only 55 seconds left for Vanquish, they just need to figure out a way to get their footing here, whether if it's this hill, the next hill, and begin to start to steal that momentum away from Fire Nice before it's too late.
Well, here we go. You see BTO71 inside of the juice now. He's going to be trying to get anybody that tries to rotate around for Vanquish. 16 seconds left on this, and it looks like Vanquish is already set up inside of that next hill to the backside of the inside the back of the cinema. This is going to be interesting because I believe they have both big windows to Lancer anybody that tries to rotate in for Vanquish. That is going to be hard press. That's going to be no man's land as you try to rotate through the middle of the map. You're going to get Lancer down quite quickly, but now two players are set up there. Dyslexic is going to get called out. Beautiful job to get at least a down onto him. Now here comes the rotation. They get the first one. Now it's going to be up to Fearzly. He's going to rotate back. Dyslexic finally dies off. Fearzly does not get the revive. Vanquish is in the hill, up over 250 points. Now every second makes it that much harder. Here comes BTO71 into the next fight. He's going to be mounted up at the top side. He's going to get Lancer down from behind. He kills himself off with the incendiary as well. They are just keeping the spawns staggered for the side of Fire and Ice. There's not much they can do. Precision gets one, gets traded out though. Beautiful job holding onto this hill, maintaining, and Fearzly Next up for Acells, he shuts him down as well.
Yeah, they have their foot on their neck right now, not letting them breathe. They're suffocating out F&I. And that's the thing about Control. It's no round-based game mode. There's no real time that you can pause to kind of discuss your strategy, figure out what's going on. You have to figure out as you play. Xploidz gets taken out. Toti trying to do what he can. He was able to get 2 before this life, but he gets taken out now. And Fire and Ice, they are beginning to see their hopes in this map fall right before their eyes. Dyslexic gets taken down. 10 seconds left. Fearzly forced towards the side. 2 members of Xploidz and Toti. They have to get in through the middle. Just 5 seconds remain. Fearzly has to go first, but he's not even going to attempt it as Fire and Ice get taken down and Vanquish steamroll map number 1.
Without a doubt, Vanquish never lost control from start to finish. They put their foot on the accelerator and on the throats of Fire and Ice, and they squeezed until they heard them stop breathing. This was going to be Acells' map no matter what. Hndles, he might have had a lot of highlight reel plays, but 28 limbs, 12 downs on the side of Acells. That is just so incredible to overcome, so hard to deal with. I'm not going to lie to you, Jacob. When Operation 8 drops, I can't wait to see how much damage Vanquish did. That's next week, by the way, baby. That's next week. It's next week.
That's next week. That damage leaderboard is going to be hot. Those are going to be some fat stack numbers. Just like you said, Acells, 28 eliminations. I think it was 12 downs. I broke down the damage alone. This is just eliminations. This is not extra damage points. 30 kills is an equivalent of around 18,000 damage. So you got to imagine in that game, I'm just going to make up some stat leaderboards with that amount of eliminations. You mix that with 12 downs. I think maybe 25,000 damage for Acells. I think that sounds about right.
I'll tell you what it was. It was probably a little bit more than BTO 71's efforts in that first one, because that was just, he kept getting angled out, and I almost felt bad for him. It was like they called him out just to keep him down and out on the map, because they knew, as long as, I think a lot of the times when we see BTO 71 popping off, there is a chance for them to come back into every round because they rotate better. They play a little bit more like a team. Whereas if you keep him on skates, you basically leave 3 pretty heavy slayers all to their own accords. They got to make their own decisions. That's what I think was the crowning achievement for Vanquish in that matchup, because the only hill that they really dominated was that bottom left hill, and BTO 71 was alive for most of it.
Yeah, even saw there was good portions that a lot of these players were doing as individuals. I saw Toti get 2 eliminations, and he made a smart play to steal the instance away from Acells at one point. They made some big plays, as like I said, as individuals. But overall, from the beginning of the game, Vanquish sending 3 players over. You know they have that wolf pack, beat down their opponent's mentality. And even if you do figure out a way to wipe them, they're just going to spawn back up and do it over and over and over again until the game is over. And that's the thing about Vanquish. There's some shot hitters right now. They rarely miss, and they shows that if you're on fire, you go ahead and have your teamwork intact. You continue to stagger out the deaths. It could be like Fire and Ice, to where you just can't breathe. You can't figure out a way to come back.
Now we go to Clocktower, and this is what we saw them fall on last night, Pittsburgh Knights. And Pittsburgh really, I would say, had a very good strategy getting the sniper rifle picked in the backside of the matchup, in the backside of those pillars. Do you think Fire and Ice is going to try to use that same kind of strategy, those early pushes across to get the back pillar player to not pay as much attention and then go for the quick pick and try to get the snipe out every round, especially when they have such a deadly sniper like Xploidz on their team? Do you see them trying to go for that same mentality, even with the way Hndles has always been favored toward those frags, where he's been able to get them for free for a lot of times?
Yeah, I can see a little bit of that being the kind of main strategy, like you said, kind of playing that flex role, whether they're going in, trying to get it down, try to get that sniper out, figure out what they can get away with. But I do think there's going to come a point in time in this game where somebody is going to have to match Hndles down low, because Hndles is one of those players where he's not afraid to push across and flank. He's not afraid to go down low, immediately get those frags and backtrack. He just does exactly what he wants to do. He plays with his opponent, figure out what he can get away with. I think that is going to come to play from Fire and Ice. I think they have to be very, very aware, especially since, you know, it's not only Hndles. Precision likes to go down low and grab those frag grenades as well. They have worked it into their gameplay, and it's kind of a strategy that they used against Rise in the grand finals. I think that was our final map. Correct me if I was wrong.
No, Tomb was the final map, and
See, I'm
Rise
wrong.
was up. Tomb was up. I mean, it was Tomb, and it was...
But it's still the same strategy they used on that map of Clocktower when they did play it out.
I mean, they did. I'm just saying. You asked me if you was wrong. I'm telling you.
I said I was wrong immediately. Okay.
Is that 5-2? Look, I'm still that 5-2 lead still hurts me, brother. All right, still hurts me. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like,
too. It hurts you. It has to hurt them, and that's nothing though. That's something that
I didn't even pick Rise, and that hurt me. Like I was so happy for Vanquish. I was like, brother,
way to rub it in, Colin. I didn't even pick you. He just said
look. If I've got to screenshot the talent talkback, I will. Where it says VQ. Why not? Because I've been picking them all tournament, baby.
I mean, I had him in my predictions in finals either way. A little bit of different opposition.
You already beat Reflections. That's all you cared about.
That is all I care about. I'm still waiting for my trophy Reflections. I'm coming for you, man. Don't make me make my own, because that's not something you want to see. That's not something Colin wants to see. That's not something the chat wants to see, because I'll do it.
I mean, the two of you, I would love to see the tail of that tape. 6'8" versus 6'8". 250 jacked versus 265 jacked. I mean, one of you fully tatted, the other one not so much. That is a hell of a heavyweight matchup. I would love to see that tail of the tape. I wonder what kind of reach you got over there. People don't understand. The camera angle makes it look like you ain't got them hands, dog. But
I've been saying that for so long, man. I'm telling you, it's the camera angle. They take away a few feet. They make me look smaller, a little bit younger. Just don't get fooled. Meet me in person. That's all I got to say.
I swear to God, like, you know, the door that Rose laid on and told Jack that there was no room left at the end of the Titanic? I swear you could reach across that entire door vertically. That's how long your wingspan is. You're a monster. You're a Goliath. That's all.
I would have Michael Phelps my way out of the water, bro. I wouldn't have been in that water too long with the wingspan that I got. But man, you got to jump back into this one. I got to ask you, with the way Vanquish, you kind of see they're returning that championship form after losing to PK yesterday. On the side of Fire and Ice, they begin to kind of sizzle out from what we've seen, that with possibilities, the potential in which they could perform. What do you think is kind of going wrong? And what can you add in what you think they can do to fix it?
I think right now what they got to focus on the most is really trying to play a little bit more together. There was a lot of times where Vanquish was getting free 2v1s, especially toward the middle round of that map, that bottom right hill. Best example, Precision playing in a back corner. He had Lancer help over the top. The one time that Fire and Ice won, they helped each other out. They were full Lancered out. They had one player in info, two players stacked up on the top ramp, and then one at the actual hill just waiting for somebody to try to up A into it. Excuse me. I really believe that if Fire and Ice wants to come away with this map too, they're going to have to help each other a little bit more. They're going to have to get Lancer Fire into the same area. They're going to have to be able to focus Fire as well. If you get spread apart and you give Vanquish the chance to kind of take those 1Vs, they're very reminiscent, in my opinion, of E United, in the same fact that they are very talented and they will take advantage of you because they have so much singular individual 1v1 talent.
So do you think there's any one player that can kind of uplift the team? Are you looking at, what is his name, BTO7? Are you looking at, my Dyslexic King? Who are you looking at Fire and Ice to kind of lead by example, though?
Well, I think really if you look at Fire and Ice's roster right now with the gamer tags they got on it, and I've got to figure out who's going to pick him up. It's probably going to be... I think he's going to be the guy that has to be able to... Oh, by the way, I mean Dyslexic. He's got to get an initial kill. He's got to be able to pressure across that secondary spot, that host spot, try to get that first shot on, because if you can get behind him, if he can get a couple of kills early and get revved up, that's going to give them the confidence against a team like Vanquish.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was talking about, those flex plays, those options, because if you can get him heated up, he's going to land those shots. He's going to push those players back, funnel them down towards the host spot. That makes Xploidz jobs easier. And then that's where you're going to see the backup come through towards that back pillar. Xploidz is either going to go ahead and try to get the downs and allow Dyslexic to finish continuing those eliminations, or he's going to get the sniper, call that he has it out alive, and then that's where you can see Fire and Ice. I wouldn't say slow down, but just backtrack just a little bit and let that sniper go to work.
Well, here we go to round number 1 of map number 2. Dyslexic is trying to point out the 1v1 possibility. Hndles down low, possibly threatening going over to those nades. A long range down onto Xploidz, but it's traded out really, so double down on both sides. Just trying to get the revives off right now, trying to stay up entirely. All 8 players in the top side of this map right now, fighting over position at the secondary and this host spot, also toward that sniper. Nobody giving up positioning just yet, trying to make sure that nobody can get that quick pick onto the sniper rifle, and we have stalemated it out for just a minute.
I'm trying to look at what you told. We got Precision, Xysho. and Hndles all with a bit of utility. Everybody on the side of Fire and Ice, and this is where they're going to try to push forward. They want to get that sniper, that flex play, pushing players back, seeing what they can get. They down and out precision. It comes through with a trade, though. Dyslexic goes down. Acells gets taken out. So does Xploidz. Left and right, players are getting dropped off from both teams, but it comes down to a 2v1 scenario. Xysho by himself going up against Fearzly and Toti. He just tries to land the shot with the shotgun. Reaction shot here and there, but the angles are strong as Fire and Ice in a minute and 8 close out map and round number 1. Not and map. I just meant round number 1. I'm not a fortune teller. Maybe.
Well, we come to round number 2. We saw that early on there was a 1v1 kind of test down at the bottom. And then when all 8 players were stacked up top, they were able to kind of take advantage of that. Hndles this time is going to get tagged up just a little bit. He's threatening to the side of that garden. Not going to be able to push up yet. Lancer fire onto Xploidz just a little bit. Precision goes for a little up A, trying to bait it out. Now Hndles trying to return back toward the stairwell. See the snub come out for Xploidz. He's almost red, not down just yet. Here comes Dyslexic now. Once again, all 8 players stacked up to the top side of the map. Smoke is out to that host and secondary spot, trying to blind out the lanes. Here comes Xploidz. He's rotating back. Once again, we find ourselves at a stalemate.
In this last round, we saw all 4 members of Fire and Ice hold on to that utility. This time, it's going to be 3 and 3. Both teams having 3 different utility nades, 3 different opportunities here to try to get a flash, try to get a smoke, catch somebody off guard. It was Fire and Ice last round that did make that first move. Like I said, they were trying to go for that option play. They got a lot of damage onto Precision, got him down and out. And then from there, it was a little bit easier, but I don't think anybody was kind of downed out twice, so it's not going to be as easy as it was before. So I can see Fire and Ice trying to go for a sniper this time around versus Precision and the aggressive Vanquish. If they get that opportunity, I feel like they are trying to go for eliminations.
Eyes on target.
Here we go. A little bit of shots on to BTO 71 in this situation. Dyslexic holding down that spot as well. Nobody giving up any positions. 30 seconds to go until that overtime ring spawns. This is going to be another mad dash. We saw this at least once last night. See BTO 71 waiting to possibly throw that flash over the top. Xploidz with his flash out. It looks like Fire and Ice is going to go for a full set of stuns and then push up into the hill, as well as maybe even getting some shots on. Here they come all the way across. They're going to push through before that hill can spawn. Beautiful double shot down onto Precision. Here comes the retake by Vanquish. 2 members down for Fire and Ice. Now all 4 down for Fire and Ice. They finish it off and they tie it up 1-1.
Vanquish did a good job of kind of defending. I wouldn't say baiting them in, but backtracking in their steps, realizing, and that's what not only them, but everybody needs to do, is realizing your win conditions and trying to play in them wholeheartedly. And that's where I talk about when timing's not on your side, you need to figure out a way to create that separation into those 1v1s and try to take advantage of that rather than slowly letting that 3v2 surround you, suffocate you, and timing not be on your side all around. As both of these teams still setting their 3 players up top. And this is where I ask you, do you think it's a little different seeing not as much utility thrown off the start? I know there's a couple rounds here and there where it happens, but as often as it has been, 3 straight rounds.
Well, this time we're going to actually get Hndles to be able to flank all the way across. So this already changes the complexion just a little bit. Hndles is trying to be able to put pressure here. Any shots on the Fearzly might force him into a bad spot. Here comes flashes out toward the backside, and it looks like Vanquish might try to take over that extra lane. Xysho picks up the snipe, gets the first kill. Acells with it down now. Can't get it cleaned up. This roll out, Xysho still trying to backtrack, trying to find that extra shot on. They get all the kills, though, very quickly in the backside of that back pillar. 2-1.
Back to back, beginning to feel themselves here, continuing on that momentum from map number 1. And this is where I say Fire and Ice. They're not necessarily known for playing down low a lot. I wish, you know, some sort of mega analyst out there that loves Gears Esports could break down strategies for a lot of these teams that we do see on stream. But I think it's very, very low percent if I did have to make a guess. That's why I think if they start mixing in those down low strats, keeping teams guessing, I think it would help their gameplay overall. But I think when teams know Xploidz is heavily favoring that sniper, that kind of closes out what they're able to do.
We also see a lot of the times teams that are able to get that positioning. Precision gets an early down and a quick kill there, and they still have BTO 71 on the ground, and that's going to force Dyslexic up to the top of the map. So now it's a 4v3, and they're going to have a flank here momentarily. They're going to have to fly across the map, try to get a quick pick off. They're going to be another down. Here comes Precision trying to help out that last player, and I love it. Xysho plays defensively and plays back the entire time to get those final couple of damage shots on to help get those downs, those kills, and those cleanups.
Yep. See, yet again, the down low play from Hndles coming through. And that's where Toti was just trying to go for shots over the top onto Hndles. It cost him a down, which can kind of cost you the round in the end. You have to be very, very careful. That's why I'm still looking. I'm not going to say I would love Dyslexic to go down low, maybe Fearzly, but somebody is going to have to try to spread the defense thin as Dyslexic is doing what he can to match it. Up top, still that 3v3, no big utility going out, just trading shots back and forth, but Hndles is the master of that down low between these two players, plays it time and time again. Instead of going across, he's playing more in towards those frag grenades, which is going to make Dyslexic have to make a choice here. If you continue to try to push down low, those Lancer shots over the top is going to make Hndles escape that much easier.
Here we go. Dyslexic trying to focus up on the Hndles here in the 1v1 around the truck. Up top, we have seen the down and the kill come through. Precision has got one. Misroll in from BTO 71, but he still comes away with a kill. Acells will clean one up as well. It's going to be a 2v2 mounted up. Here comes Dyslexic on the flank. He's going to have shots on to Acells. Xysho trying to look for either player to mount up. He tries to take a shot into the elbow there. Won't be able to get that one to go. Flash out. Xysho. He's going to get one back A out, but he's going to have to continue to play around with his distance and spacing as he has the snipe on his back. He's going to go for the quick switch and the reload. Is he going behind the car? He is going to go behind the car, but double Lancer down quickly, and that will make this 3-2.
Yeah, like what he was trying to do there. He was just trying to run around, make one of these players decide to either hold the spot while the other one's trying to push in, get the angles, create those 1v1 scenarios. Unfortunately, like you said, that double Lancer cross, the over-the-top one specifically, to hit all those shots, get that down on Xysho, and just shut down all opportunities for Fire Nice. It might have been a little slower than those VQ victories, but not how you start, how you finish in the end. You got to stop the bleeding somewhere, and that could be step number one for Fire Nice as Dyslexic continuing to go down low. But like I said, Hndles playing aggressive almost every single round.
Xploidz here. Top of that secondary spot. Precision trying to fake that up A, trying to get that shot on, trying to get that player to focus head out as Precision goes down now with Cells. He's going to have some shots on. Fearzly has a really good angle there as he looks down onto those players at that host and secondary spot. Now Xploidz will go for the up A. He's going to continue to try to push across. He gets one down. There's a second. It should be 3-3 here very quickly unless there is a collapse. It's 3v2. Xysho trying to get shots around the corner. He's going to get picked off. All up to Hndles. He's going to try to rotate into this situation. He gets Dyslexic, but there's the shot and the rollback. Beautiful job, all tied up.
Fire Nice beginning to heat up. What you want to see if your chat voting for him, but I do think the predictions might have been almost near a 50-50 split. Leaning on over to Fire Nice, rightfully so. You know, I almost leaned over to Fire Nice and picked them in my predictions. I thought it was going to be that close, but after map number one, DQ took a commanding lead. This is more of the matchup here on Clocktower that I thought I was going to see between these two teams. It's Hndles going up top. They're trying to play aggressive. They're trying to get these early eliminations as he's going to try to keep that player on the host spot down while getting Xysho out with the sniper. He barely escapes, but no answer back just yet from Fire Nice.
And Xysho now has the back pillar. Hndles has gone down. They have to get a quick pick onto him, which they do. They get the revive. Fearzly challenging the back pillar. Here comes the other two players into the area. Big body shot out by Xysho. Back A out onto that next player. Now trying to play his life, but here comes the rotation and the flank 3v3 situation. Vanquish is going to be knotted up on these stairs. I think they need to get off of them. They kept putting themselves in pretty bad position. Xysho picks off one with a headshot. Beautiful job. Two more players to worry about. 3v2 knotted up. Xysho might want to find himself some cover because I don't know if you necessarily want to find yourself getting double Lancer down yet again. One player caught off guard, hasn't been able to get a body shot yet, but Acells gets the kill with the frag grenade. 3v1 and the chance to take the lead back.
Yep. Great play right there. I know they had the heavy advantage, especially with those frag grenades, but by not letting them continue to stay alive, run around, you're not giving them the opportunity to create the separation and give up a 1v1, which something Fire Nice was definitely going to look for in that situation. But now you're going up against the sniper, you're going up against the torque bow, you're going up against time, which is not on your side, especially with that hill. Everybody just geared up down low. This is where, if you're dyslexic, I know everything is against you here, but you think he's playing to not get humped at this point?
I think he is
Teabag, disrespected.
I think he's going to try to find one sneak kill. Oh my God, Acells has another sniper rifle. He's going to try to sneak him. This is coming to sneak. Hip fire misses. Brody strafe up in, bouncing Fest comes through. Ring will capture in 1 second. That's 4-3. And you see how Vanquish, they didn't try to rotate up on him. They're just gonna stand in a hill and emote, get it over with.
Yep. Saying, hey, we're gonna win this one way or another. You're either gonna come to us, you're gonna go ahead and have to hide. Stay alive. I don't care if your stats matter to you. They don't matter to us, because the one that matters is the one in the win column. Is Vanquish. Once again, back on top with the lead, 4-3 over Fire and Ice in this one. And this is where I'm still looking at Hndles. Have been doing a good job controlling the tempo down low. Up top, they're doing a good job of kind of holding off, saving those utilities for the last moment. But like I said, I think Fire and Ice need to do something big here to gain some momentum.
Answer shots out, precision mounted up here once again.
Hndles for the nades.
He didn't get him. He didn't pick him. He's just going on a full flank, and they know it, so they're going to push across. They got to try to get these downs down these stairwells.
Let's see. Now they're going to be able to backtrack, but damage is definitely being felt. Precision gets downed out. Hndles finally has those frag grenades we were talking about. Dyslexic overextends. 2 players actually fall. They get the trade onto Precision. Coming down to a 2v2. Fire and Ice are letting this one slip through their fingers. Almost go down yet again. And BQ are just fighting for every inch to take back this control. But Fearzly sneaks up a kill onto Acells. Down to a 1v2 scenario against Hndles. But he has those frag grenades. He could do this. One towards the back pillar. Not able to connect with elimination. No, it does. He takes out Xploidz. This is a 1v1. This could come down to the hill, but I do believe he has one more frag grenade intact. Bounces it off the pillar. Tries to go for some positioning. Not going to end up with anything here, but that hill in just a few seconds, so 30 more, maybe even 40, will pop and force these players into an altercation.
Ooh, that first shot is big. Fearzly's going to try to play up against him now. Back A out from Hndles, doesn't get that shot. Now Fearzly continuing to try to play that angle, trying to go for those little wraps, and there it is. The up A comes out.
Damn.
I mean, you saw it quick as a hiccup, gets that shot on, gets the kill, and now it's all tied up once again. It's going to be a best of 3 to settle out this map number 2. That was a great little 1v1 win for Fearzly in this situation over Hndles. I really thought Hndles was going to try to play that positioning once he threw the nade, because he might have been able to get behind that pillar once he used that nade to force that player behind into that prison.
That's what he was able to do. As soon as he realized he was a little late, Hndles backtracked off of that flank, got the nades in his hand, almost comes up clutch, but Fire and Ice able to shut that one down. Xploidz unable to really get the sniper in his hands and put it to use as we thought the strategy was going to be, but that could be because the amount of defense. Fire and Ice knows they go for the sniper, and BQ knows that as well, and because of the less down low play that you've seen from Dyslexic, that kind of makes them a little bit one-directional.
Cells with a down on Dyslexic will slow things up momentarily. Hndles is going to get those nades. Here comes flashes and a lot of stuns coming out. Xysho down now. They're going to get the quick cleanup on him as well. One nade out will return fire by Hndles. He'll have one more to his name. Xploidz will pick up the long shot.
Enemy targeted.
Now you see what they're going to be able to do with this. Precision is all the way back behind that truck, and it looks like both teams are trying to spread their numbers. Acells has been called out. He's going to get Lancered up just a little bit, peppered up.
They're going to push up top. That way he can grab the torque bow. They have to distract the sniper. Body shot onto Acells. He's going to back down just a little bit. Focus now is going to be back onto Precision. You got the torque bow, which was step number 1. Now you need to get out alive. There's multiple long passageways that makes you susceptible to a headshot coming out from Xploidz, but that's why you go ahead and try to make that push go up top again. You're going to have to do something to distract that sniper. Otherwise, Xploidz is going to have a field day shooting down low.
Going to be hunting rabbit season, possibly duck season here in 20 seconds when the overtime hill spawns. I believe it's down low in the middle between the two sets of cars. So I think both teams have somebody that can angle out on it. Fire and Ice is taking over the entirety of this map from the top to the left. Vanquish answered back with bottom to the right. Xploidz looking to get body shots as players try to rotate in. Torque revs up for just a moment. Body shot in on a Precision. They're going to try to probably get some pepper shots in onto him, get him down. Precision goes for a last-second ditch effort, throws out a bow. Here comes Acells with another set of grenades.
They just need a kill at this point. Like I said, you don't even have to win with the hill.
Another Torque in. They're trying to get the capture, and they do it. The secondary frag grenades win that round for Vanquish. They use them to herd the players from Fire and Ice out of position, and now 1 round away.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Fire and Ice will ever play for the frag grenades this game? Or do you think it's going to take them losing to that strategy to try to implement it into their own?
Good to be back.
I don't know.
Because I think they should. I feel like you can really capitalize on going down low, but now you're up against match point. This is where you really have to think about what strategy you want to do, something you practice versus something a little wild. Xysho pushing up, wasting no time, getting that sniper in his hands. He almost gets out alive. Only a down on a Precision, who was the sacrifice, but Acells, he gets taken out. First blood, but Hndles doing what he can to even it up. Headshot from Xysho. 3v3. We're all knotted up. Body shot on the Toti as well. Nobody there to get the clean up with the down, as they know Dyslexic is going for those frags. They don't want to let him use them for free, but he gets the elimination on Hndles. 1 step away. We could be going to a round number 11, but this one is going to come down to how well Xysho can play with that sniper versus the 3v2, and can they close it out with frags? 3v2 turned into a 2v2, but frags are still in the hands of Dyslexic.
Dyslexic playing toward the bottom at that pillar. Waiting for somebody to get caught out. He's waiting for the moment to kind of lancer onto Xysho. They're looking to maybe get some pepper shots onto him and force him out. Just continuing to load up that lancer, waiting for him to be out in the open long enough for him to probably get a bunch of damage on. Because I don't think they know that the other player went to the 90 degree. So if Xysho tries to run away down low, he could possibly end up getting taken down and out. Flash grenade picked up by BTO71.
Basically leaves a position on that side of the map. And this is where VQ have to know they have this separation. They don't have no long range weapon other than the frag grenades and a lancer. The hill is just closing down. I do believe it might be out wide, Colin.
I think it's I think it's behind that car. I think it's where Dyslexic is right now. They put Dyslexic in a position to play the CQC, and they want Toti to just lancer out for him. And BTO71 has got the flash grenade to be able to use to stop them from pushing in without being stunned.
You almost got to go in.
And they don't have nades. They have 2 nades. This is over. Say goodnight.
Oh, he misses 1. Precision's able to get in. He gets a lot of damage on Dyslexic. He's trading back and forth, trying to use his happy feet, but Fire and Ice shut it down. Round number 11. Here we go.
Round number 11 between Fire and Ice and Vanquish on Clocktower to settle it up either 2-0 or 1-1 going into a map number 3. We'll see everybody roll out of spawn now. Which situation are you going to want to find yourself in if you're Vanquish? Do you want to go for those nades? Do you want to go for the pick on the sniper? Right now it looks like a little check place on that bottom side of the map. Try not to give up the positioning over the grenades. BTO71 shots over onto Acells. A lot of damage being put out early, but not enough to really threaten anybody in this situation. Xysho was the lowest in the round right now at 59. He's got to wait for his health to come back. I don't see a lot of utility being used up either early in this one. This is going to stalemate out for a long time, I believe.
Sorry, just dyslexic angles right there making me laugh, but this is where in this situation we see both of these teams after a while of stalemating, they just get the information, they allow these players to kind of hop back and forth, take a few pistol bullets, lancer bullets of damage, then they throw their smokes, then they throw their flashes and try to create some disruption, whether they're going for elimination, going for a down, which could lead to more, or simply going for that sniper. Those moments, those opportunities that both of these teams are waiting for. And if you can take a look at that right hand advantage down low from Hndles, if they play their cards right and he's practiced it enough, he can flash from down low up top toward that host spot to get an extra bit of distraction that they won't even see coming. But it's just going to slow down.
This is as tense as it can be. We are in the moments now where somebody's gonna have to make a move. 30 seconds left until that hill spawns, and it's an up top hill once again. It is come from that car. Gonna be up top now. Xploidz gets tagged up a little bit there. Xysho all the way down to 9%, ladies and gentlemen. He could have gone down and ruined this round for his squad, not giving him a chance to win this. 10 seconds left. All the utility in the world is about to be thrown and possibly used, but here comes all 8 players. It's going to be one mad dash over a final hill. Here comes the stuns. Xploidz misses an L trigger. Here comes the return fire. Xploidz is going to try to bounce into this hill at the last second. Here they come, trading out downs, trading out blows. 1 kill in for the side of Fire and Ice, and a second kill, third kill. It's all up to Acells. He goes down. Fire and Ice wins it on round 11, 6-5. They will tie it up 1-1 going into map number 3. Our escalation matchup, BTO7I. I thought it was a 1. BTO7I, your MVP for map number 2 as well. We will see the conclusion of this matchup in the last 3 maps right after this quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Esports Pro League. I am Colin the Crow Clark, being joined by Jacob MVPR. We just saw map number 2, Clocktower Execution. Vanquish 2 nights in a row has found themselves struggling on that map, as well as they fall here in around 11 to Fire and Ice. What do you think is the answer for Vanquish's woes on that map right now, Jacob?
Honestly, I just feel like it's just a lot of give and take on Clocktower. I think they're doing a lot with sending Hndles down low. I think they just need to fine tweak some adjustments. Maybe Hndles playing a little bit more towards those frag grenades, baiting some players in, maybe a little bit more up top aggressive strats like the team is known for in their playstyle. Overall, I just think that Vanquish is just one of those teams that they are so aggressive that it's kind of hard to give a different look on a map like Clocktower that is a little bit more balanced. But I wouldn't change too much from Vanquish's gameplay overall. Maybe just different tweaks here and there. Like I said, more actual grenade usage, especially against a team like Fire and Ice that I've been talking about it all map long. They don't play for those frag grenades, so they're basically almost free. Almost. You're gonna have Dyslexic trying to lance you down, maybe Toti over the top as well, but they don't go in and try and contest you.
Well, now we're going to be going over to Training Grounds Escalation. And what do you think is the biggest factor going into this? Once again, I always have to kind of come back to this, and it might be beating a dead horse. Fire and Ice have been together since that last major that was pure escalation. Whereas Vanquish, they had Brawny, now they got Xysho. Do you think that still has to favor Fire and Ice?
No, I don't think so anymore, because even though they do went through those changes, Vanquish did also win that first major when it was execution only. They haven't really been one of those teams that fall near the bottom half of the bracket at all too often. They're always a team that has been a contender. Like I said, it's almost like their system is plug and play with who their fourth is. So when it comes to Training Grounds, when it comes to any one of these maps, I think Vanquish is going to continue to be a threat from one of these teams, even if it's a map that they might not favor at all. So when it comes to escalation overall, I just think for them, they just need to continue to play in their hand, force the aggression. Maybe they need to take a page out of the Rise playbook with putting those shot grenades and incendiaries towards the center line to force more aggressive fights.
You know, I forgot to ask this earlier, and it just dawned on me. Do you remember who Reflections picked
In this one?
Yeah, do we know?
I want to say if it was VQ.
God, he picked VQ.
I was about to say, I want to say it was VQ. That means we lost, isn't it?
Oh, my picks, man.
I feel like we lost now. He picked VQ. Anytime he picks VQ, they lose. Yesterday was proof of that. Colin's just so upset right now. I can't even imagine. Just when the realization hits, that's just the title of that clip.
This man's
when the realization hits.
This man's costing.
You just need to let him pick first next week.
He's literally throwing at this point. Like, what is going on? I think he's got a vendetta. Jackal, Acells, Hndles, Precision, Xysho. He's got a vendetta against you. You cost him in the mid-split playoff to lose his trophy to Jacob. He's going to pick you every time. I'm putting him on blast. You got to get this man. You got to stop him. He's a menace. He's a menace.
You guys need to go and just make sure you guys keep him busy before he can lock his in predictions tomorrow or next week, whenever the next time Vanquish is on the battlefield. But now I'm a little scared for my predictions. I knew this was going to be a close one. I did have Vanquish overall, but now I'm a little scared. I
just thought about that. I just thought about it. I was like, wait, Vanquish kind of struggled in that map too. I was like, wait, who did Taylor? What? Oh,
F and I Reflections.
I'm at this point. I'm sorry. F and I not are Friggin' not VQ Taylor. That's what it's gonna be. God, good gracious. Can't believe this man's costing me a point. If they end up losing this, I'm not coming for Vanquish. I'm coming for Taylor. I'm just woohoo.
That's not. I don't want to mess with Colin, man. We were talking about it during one of those segments, man. That man has dad strength. He has farm. Colin, yeah, I'm on your side. Whatever we're going to do it together, brother.
I just can't believe this, man.
I'll take the low ground. You go the high ground.
Also, I'm totally waiting on the voice of God to either get mad at us and tell us to shut up and talk about the game, or to tell us that somebody is not in their right spot. Did you say that?
This is our show. What do you mean? My camera goes blank.
And Poppy Fools is out there like, oh, your show, huh? Your show.
Oh, I didn't mean it. Please, I didn't mean it. All those hype jokes out the window. But coming into this next one, we talked about training grounds, escalation. And we know both of these teams like to play into the bold talks, retros. That's what I'm saying. I think both of these teams with their play style, very, very similar to Rise. I think they could favor very heavily, especially against a team who doesn't have this strategy, putting those weapons towards the center line. Hey, if you want this shock, if you want to instant, you got to fight for it. Because not only is it taking away from the side, forcing that fight, forcing that interaction, but it's taking away that placement of what could be an M bar, maybe a boom shot, maybe something that could be used against you even heavily or more so.
I mean, I think that would favor Vanquish as well. I think Vanquish needs to try to make this about a big team fight the entire time. They need to be able to pressure Fire and Ice and not let them kind of play a standardized map selection or a standardized map rotation. We're going to find out what they're going to be able to do, though, because of the fact that coming into this situation, we are tied up 1-1, and everybody is going to be rolling out of spawn here on round number 1. And it looks like we're going to have that same solidified setup, 3-1 split, as we've seen earlier tonight. And already we're going to have a 2v2 up top, though. This is going to be interesting for me.
Take note of that Lancer over the top, though. That's going to be Acells, Xysho, both picking up some downs. No eliminations going through just yet, but First Blood's going to go for Precision, taking out Toti, but it's quickly matched back. Dyslexic takes out Precision, but it's been trades back and forth. Dyslexic's going to go down. Xploidz getting taken out as well. The overextension coming through the top half of the map from Xysho. They're going for a triple cap domination. Fearzly needs to go in. He needs to figure out a way to buy time, but he's not even going to attempt it to come through. I guess rightfully so. That trust they have in one another right now is just unreal, but Xysho continues to dominate over that hill, continues to put that pressure on. Finally, Fearzly's going in, but now it's a 1v2. He quickly falls. Triple cap domination about to go off as Dyslexic meets his doom. And Vanquish already going up 1-0.
You see how he had to turn the meat shield around so that he could see that emote? That's dirty. That's dirty. That's the other new emote that came out, by the way. The surprise gift emote also came out this week in a stove.
You know, Colin, I missed you. I won't even lie.
I miss you too, brother.
You complete me. You know,
it feels like it's been like 7 years since I've gotten to sit next to you.
I feel like, man, I'm telling you, during this next major, I feel like you need to come over. I need to go over there, and we'll have our own LAN setup. We'll be all on the same camera with the same mics.
Same camera? I'm telling you that.
We're going to chest bump. I'm going to fly across the room, and you're going to close the show.
Let's go. Oh, my God. Long shot down round 1. Vanquish put the bolt talk. Vanquish put the bolt talk down, and Fire and Ice was like, screw it, fight me.
I mean, that's what we said that we thought Vanquish would kind of do, especially with their aggressive playstyle. But Xploidz, they're taking control of their own destiny. Instead of a shock, instead of an instant, it's going to be a sniper. That's almost like patent pending on the side of Fire and Ice. The weapon, the strategy that they use on numerous maps of Escalation. Xploidz is going to get First Blood as well. Taking out Xysho, going for the angle onto Precision. They don't even let him get close, and now he's going to get the reward he's been waiting for, the sniper rifle.
And Xploidz is going to rotate that all the way back to their own heaven. They have control over the B hill. 2 members of Vanquish are going to rotate to the top side of the overlook. And anybody that pokes out, Xploidz might be able to get a body shot on and really make it easy for BTO 7i to get some Lancer shots on, maybe get that second down. Xploidz is going to continue to rotate around. The marks that come through for Fire and Ice are going to be big in this situation because they got 3 players guarding that B hill. This is going to be interesting because I don't see anybody rotating down through the bottom middle of the map. And Xploidz has 6 shots to use as well.
Yeah, because of the way the sniper's positioning, they're just trusting if he hits a body shot over the top, over the extension from home, that they're just going to finish it off with a Lancer down, but Fearzly just gets eliminated out of that God spot down low. Sniper shot connecting with Xploidz, but nobody's going to be able to overextend to clean that one up. Dyslexic has his hands full. He falls without getting an elimination, not even a trade, as the pressure is being felt. VQ is beginning to push forward on the other side of the map, but there goes the shining light, the down on the Hndles over the top, which will allow them to overextend, and there goes a headshot from Xploidz, trying to go back-to-back here. Lands 2 crucial shots, almost gets the kill blow onto Acells, but he goes down, which is going to make it a little bit easier for Vanquish to try to battle back, but 2 hills to 1, 60+ points for Fire and Ice. They can easily try to close this game down.
I like the positioning here from the top side of the heaven. You're going to see them try to Lancer out toward that home hill. Precision, though, pushes in. He's going to get taken down. Here comes another player. They're going to try to push into the home hill of Fire and Ice. 3 of them playing across to this side of the map. Hndles first in. He's going to get shot on by Dyslexic a lot. Double bounce out. We'll get the down. Xploidz trying to rotate in. He's going to get killed off. This could be a triple cap domination retake for Vanquish. Fearzly, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Nowhere to go. 2 rounds up, 2 rounds down. Vanquish, they get a beautiful retake. They did not have anything to go off of in that initial, and just kill after kill comes through, and they end up winning hill after hill.
Yeah, I didn't really see too much about how Fearzly got taken down that God spot, but he kind of fell. Xploidz was really unable to put that sniper to use in terms of getting those headshots to try to even things up. Dyslexic got pushed 2v1. We saw that sniper shot over the top from Xploidz trying to even things up. The first one was the body shot onto the God spot. Just unfortunately, there's just not too many opportunities to wig some players, take off the domes, and just put some players on the respawn, keep yourselves alive. But you see the upgrade is finally there. Retros versus Boltok. Fire and Ice is going to play another round with that sniper down low.
Now we go into the next round. Smokes out. Xysho trying to get shots on, but he's getting peppered up from that top heaven spot. You see Precision trying to move across to the A hill right now. Little 1v1 breaking out at the heaven of Vanquish as well. Xysho will give up a bunch of angles here as the pressure is coming through onto Hndles. Xploidz will have the sniper in the backside, flash out. Hndles still stunned, bounces around, gets the shot on the chunk. Beautiful job. Now they have the angles that they can use to try to pinch these last 3 players. You're going to see BTO7i inside of the B hill trying to get this to go in their favor, and now the extra 1v1 comes through, but Hndles will get taken down by BTO7i. He's going to get that kill. That'll get them 1 hill. Xploidz is backed all the way up into the home hill. Gotten the Boltok. He's got Boltok long shot and the home hill in their favor, and he's got 4 more bullets to play with. Precision and the boys from Vanquish back off of respawn, trying to fight back into the situation of the overlook. Fearzly, though, shutting down 2 of them back to back, and here comes Precision trying to get that kill on Dyslexic in the middle of the map, but I don't believe it's going to come through, as now it's going to be a possible triple cap domination situation. Retro picked up by Xploidz, and just 5 seconds to go. We're looking at a 2-1 round to count unless Xysho can really make something happen here, but he's going to go down. Acells goes to the quick revive, but I mean, they are cleaning them up like there was a mess on aisle 5.
Fire and Ice is now on the board. Still no headshots confidently coming through from Xploidz, but he's definitely hitting a lot of body shots. He's forcing these players back. He's getting a real thorn in the side. Just a matter of time before he begins to heat up even more, connect with those headshots, and make his presence even more so known over VQ. This is where I go to ask you, after 2 straight round losses, that sniper being down low, I wouldn't say 2 straight, but 2 different round losses, do you think VQ is going to have to play something towards that U to force the typical fight you normally see, or do you think they're content with that sniper in the middle?
I think they're going to put something at the U.
Oh man, how did you know?
You know, sometimes you can just feel it, man. You can just feel it. You get a little bit of a sense that something's going to happen. Something's going to come through for your squad, and there it is, man. They put something down. So now we see the fight's going to break out at the back U. Nobody really goes for it's going to be a 1v1, I think, matched up at that underneath the overlook, and Fearzly handles in a 1v1, and they're dying across the map. The secondary weapon did not help them in any situation at this point.
Yeah, it didn't help him at all. In fact, Fire and Ice gets both of them. Xploidz with the M-bar. Toti with the sniper. Going for a triple cap domination here. It's going to be up to 2 different sets. One towards the neutral. Acells towards the top. Trying to buy some time. The reset's going to come through on the home hill, but the elimination is going to be cleaned up. Acells goes down. It's up to Precision here. I don't know what type of hopes he has, but they're going to go out the window. He gets the reset, but not the trade. Nobody even respawning, so that's going to be lights out for Vanquish. And as soon as you know it, 2 quick rounds for Fire and Ice back to back to tie this one up before the half.
And Fire and Ice, I mean, the way that they've been able to play these couple of rounds with a sniper and then the M-bar have really impressed me. I know that they got completely retaken, but it took a Herculean effort and a lot of big kills by Vanquish to come back into it. Vanquish needs to find an initial right here. There's a shot grenade placed out by Fire and Ice. Hndles looking to place something over the enemy team, selecting words. Now has actually gotten it out over that monument. They have their own shot grenades to use coming into this next round. So both teams with shocks to be able to bring into that initial fight if they so choose. A little bit of an interesting change, though. I like this. Is it going to be a 2v2 and then a 1v1 on the opposite side of the map?
I said because of both of those power weapons being down, they can't grab those weapons right off the bat. But Xysho gets the sniper. Acells with a blunder takes out Precision, falls shortly after. That gives up that torque, that M-bar control, and Xysho gets taken out as well. That's going to be a team wipe to start this one off. Even though I don't think they're going to get a triple cap dominate. Ooh, I might have spoke too soon. Triple cap domination underway as Xploidz immediately gets a headshot. Precision falls in a blink of an eye, and just like that, one lost initial, one slip up coming through. Fire and Ice went back to back to back. That's going to be a turkey.
Without a doubt, 3 straight strikes there on the scoreboard that you can see. They have done a fantastic job in these 3 initials, really putting the pressure on Vanquish, and that has been their Achilles heel. I just am not sure what the answer is in this situation. I mean, Vanquish, they cannot play these initials correctly at this moment. I don't see them being able to bounce back if they can't get a couple of kills to try to knot it back up at 3-2. We're looking at a 2-1 map advantage in favor of Fire and Ice if this does not get corrected quickly by Vanquish. There it is. Voltox out by both squads now. Still a long shot and an M-bar to play with on that middle section of the map.
I think it's going to be Fire and Ice that has the cave. They were the ones that switched it up, putting the sniper in towards the middle to try to change the fight up for themselves. Vanquish answer back is putting the M-bar up top to force that same similar fight. So I think Fire and Ice, maybe put a drop shot, boom shot. I know it's a high risk, but then you would put the pressure, all that towards the middle, towards that down low point, change up the fight. But I don't know if it's something they practice. Xploidz goes down, first blood going over. 3 players actually going lights out. Toti trying to be the hero, he's hiding underneath. But if Vanquish wants, they can go for the triple cap domination. They don't even need to fight him, but they eliminate him. That's 4 players dead. Nobody in position to go for the triple cap domination this time around for Vanquish, but they get themselves everything. They get the position, they get both of the weapons, and they get themselves all the information with the Hydra.
Here we see Xysho getting a kill there onto Xploidz. Now looking for the second one here in that back cubby corner. This is what they need. They need to be able to settle him down and make them play defense or make them play offense. They're going to be able to play defense for as long as humanly possible. 5 more rounds in the long shot for Xysho. Now 4. And they have the M-bar on the opposite side of the map. Missed the body shot there onto Xploidz. Another ramp up by Xysho, or another ramp up by Acells. And Xysho gets the finish there on BTO 7i. Xysho with just 2 more shots in hand. I think I like this play by Fire and Ice, though, because the quicker you play this, the harder you play and the quicker you play, the more of these shots you get them to waste. You get a better chance at a quicker retake, so it doesn't come down to one final push, and they still have ammo in the chambers to use.
Oh, my God. Just getting staggered out, pushed right back to spawn, making it come down to realistically a last-ditch effort. But you're right, though. With all that weapon usage, yeah, it's connecting with eliminations, but it's going to make it so much harder. You see already 1 shot in the chamber for Xysho. Got to imagine even fewer left in the chamber for Acells. I do believe it was kind of on the field just as long. Almost connected with that one through the smoke. Flank coming through as well. If Xysho doesn't watch out, he could become a target as Fearzly. He gets sniffed out, but the elimination's going to come through nonetheless. The decap onto E almost come through for a moment, but Acells is going to hold strong, and it comes down to 2 different 1v1s for this round. Hndles wins his. Acells loses on the other, but that is going to be it. It is finished. Vanquish will be able to tie this one up at 3 rounds apiece.
Now we come down to a best of 3 rounds, 7, 8, 9 left to be decided here in this matchup to see who will be the first to win 5. And right now, I mean, Vanquish finally wins an initial. They win both power weapons, and that's really the name of the game on this map. With how big Training Grounds is, it forces you to play across the map for a very long time. It forces you to make a very long traverse from point A to point B. Retros are going to probably be the weapon of choice for both squads. They do place them down. I'm curious, Jacob, this might be a stupid question. Any idea why we don't see more hammer bursts?
Go, go, go! I just think it comes down to the how deadly that weapon is up close. So it's kind of like a dual threat. If somebody pushes you with a shotgun, you can still get away with it. But how accurate we know these players can be. Because obviously the Retro's meant to be a little bit more inaccurate than the Lancer overall. But these are some of the best players in the world. They're going to make sure to perfect that weapon and perfect their craft. Just like here, the initial going both ways. Dyslexic doing what he can. But 3 players dead on the initial. Fearzly is definitely going to feel the pressure. This is why he's trying to back up and stay alive.
Xysho will pick the long shot again and rotate back to their own heaven. Hndles with a retro now, back behind the home. I believe they're going to rotate Hndles over to that E hill, and wait for the retake. Xysho playing through the middle of the map, seeing the stutter steps coming through. BTO7i will pick up the shot grenade. Precision will push into the backside of the U. Xysho's going to mount up over here as well. They're going to leave Hndles to play by himself with the retro. Body shot onto Fearzly. Beautiful job. That'll get a kill onto him as well. And that should shut down any attempt to get all the way to the F hill and allow the Hndles to actually try to pressure that D hill if he so wishes. But they get the call out that they push Dyslexic over there, and Hndles says, "That's fine, baby. You can go sit on your home hill for about 10 more seconds. Give us some more of a point lead."
And that's all they're doing right now. It's just the longer this one goes, yeah, Fire and Ice still has an opportunity, a chance to come back into this round. But it's going to come down to one last-ditch effort. Again, they were unsuccessful last round. Obviously, every round, each and every opportunity is going to be different here, but Xysho is trying to hold on to the angle. Both of these precision weapons are stacked on over towards this neutral, this side of the map. But where Xysho is positioned, he's able to watch over F if players go ahead and try to overtake Hndles. He can back out, play towards the steps, and get the help from Xysho, but he can also help through the middle. Lands that shot onto Fearzly. You see some shots already connecting. Toti goes down. Xploidz meets his demise. Less than 30 seconds remain of uncontested time.
Well, here we go, Xysho. 3 more shots, reloading in the chamber. Needs to worry about anybody trying to rotate into that over the overlook. And now you see Fearzly down once again. 3 straight times Fearzly's gotten picked off by a body shot and then a few retro shots. Down to just 5 seconds. Everybody's going to bounce around their home hill. They know it's all over but the crying. Nothing to do here except watch Vanquish go 1 round away from getting a win on map number 3. That is 2 rounds in a row where Vanquish has come away with the initial and then set up with both of those precision weapons to a point where you are almost snuffed out before you get halfway across the map.
And that's what you got to do. There goes 1 up for Vanquish yet again. They've just been controlling the match. That's why I asked you, do you think it's too late for Fire and Ice to throw a wrench into the gear, put something down low, force VQ to play into a strategy? Yeah, they might have practiced it once or twice, but something that they might not be as familiar with? Or do you think that Fire and Ice, they can't afford something like that?
Well, I think Fire and Ice... Hold on. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Hold on. You know, I really think they got to put something else at the range to try to separate the fight out a little bit. They have.
You're so smart, Colin.
You know,
You're so smart, man.
Hey, sometimes you ask me questions, and sometimes I got the answers, baby.
I'm about to give you $10. Pick my lottery numbers.
You know, you and I both know I learned from the best old Luxtradamus being able to see into the future.
Shout out, Lux. I hope he's watching, man. I'm gonna go down to his place of work again and bother him.
Beautiful Lancer fire, keeping Acells on his toes. They get the M-bar into Dyslexic hands, but BTO7i has died once again in the middle of the map, and now a body shot on Dyslexic is going to get him cleaned up. Xploidz, he has to worry about them pushing straight ahead. That's going to be another down. The E-hill will be uncapped for a moment. Meanwhile, Hndles has to worry about 1 player playing up into his face. That's going to be Fearzly. He might have gotten that retro, as a matter of fact. So Fearzly might have to worry about a 2v1 over here. And Vanquish pushed across. Vanquish didn't go for the mid-neutral hill. Oh, but you don't need to when Xysho hit shots. Oh, okay.
I know I lied before when I said he doesn't miss, but that man makes it look like he doesn't miss at the very least, whether he's hitting body shots, head shots. That's why they're doing so hard or trying so hard to continuously put the sniper in his hands. You see it in Clocktower. You see it here yet again as he lands another body shot onto Dyslexic, forcing him to run away, which keeps the two hills. They already got a 20-point lead. They're looking to make it even more as they're denying position after position. Instance over the top, making it that much harder for Dyslexic to thrive towards the top half of the map. And you can even see Hndles trying to put that pressure. Torque over the top. Xysho goes down. Hndles forced to retreat. He's doing his best to stay alive, but I think he's dead to rights. Now it's all about how much time he can buy.
None whatsoever. You see Xploidz trying to pressure down on those stairs. He's trying to get up into Acells' space. There's the up A. Gets that kill. Now worrying about anybody else that might be in his space. He's going to rotate back over to the E hill. They're down only about 60 points, so this might be able to get them the win condition back in their favorite position. He's going to get double answered up right off a rip, which should open things up to go over to the D hill if they need to, but they do have the win condition, so this should very well be a 4-4 going into a round 9. Torquebo out from Xploidz. Just trying to make it happen, Captain. Here comes the shots. Dyslexic bouncing around. 2 shots in, 2 shots down. Beautiful job. They're going to be decapping this D-Hill momentarily. Nobody has died for Fire and Ice on this retake. Now Fearzly will be the first to die. Precision trying to come in, but that's not going to be in time. We got domination, 4-4, all tied up going into the final round of map 3.
I got to ask you after that, everything you've seen, who has the upper hand here? You got to think that with that weapon being placed down towards the bottom, does it come down to locks? Does it come down to somebody making the play? Or do you think this one will go down to the wire?
I think it's going to go... when you say the wire, this is kind of what I mean. It's the wire is the very initial, in my opinion, because the wire to me is going to be the initial. It's going to be who can win the initial. If I was Vanquish right here, I'm not blocking the torque bow. I'm blocking their shock and taking away one of their... I'm taking away their shock to come into that back U, because the long shot and the torque don't matter as much when you can take positions over the overlook.
Now, this is something we haven't seen in a very long time, though. They block off both of those precision weapons. It comes down to a torque bow down low, Instance versus Retro Lancer, but both teams heavily favoring that 3 up top. Even though there's no weapon up there, it's still the early lead where you put that pressure on the enemy team by going 2 hills to 1, and it's already looking like it's almost going to get that early capture, but somebody had to hop out. That was going to be Dyslexic. He goes down. Xploidz falls. They're doing their best with the chain revives to come through. They get first and second blood as well. Fire and Ice on map point, I should say, have won this initial, and now they're beginning to put the pressure on. They're surrounding the outsides of Hndles. They're going ahead and pressuring in to try to grab that torque bow next.
I was going to say, if they don't get back into this round, if this is kind of a choke out round right now, where after losing that initial, they never get back into it. That's exactly what I mean, is that initial is going to be so important. Acells is going to try to get out of his spawn point, but it's just no man's land. There is nowhere to go and nowhere to hide in the situation. Fearzly has a retro. He's got 2 players charging up onto him. Xysho will be first to that fight. Dyslexic is worrying about a 1v1 over here. Xploidz has picked up the torque bow. Dyslexic has gotten a kill, though, which is absolutely massive onto that side of the map. Double cap might be coming through. Torque bow out. Doesn't get any splash damage onto precision. Now Fearzly. Go ahead.
He needs to bring that torque bow to the top overlook, and they need to work to get their side of the map back, but he's going to get his shock grenade first. Another rotation coming through from Acells, so it's going to come down to this 3v3 fight for Vanquish. They still have to come back from the lead here, so if they lose this fight, they're going to put themselves even deeper of a hole, but Acells able to get one, gets the second one, gets revived by Precision. That's going to be 2 for him. Vanquish beginning to stretch forward. They have an uncontested neutral as well. This is looking like a triple cap domination scenario.
They might have time to get there. I think Xploidz is going to have about 2 seconds to get into that hill. They're going to have to get a kill on him quickly. They get at least a little bit of damaging shots. They get the quick pick onto the meat shield. They have to keep them out from getting this decap. Another big kill from Acells. A third big kill from Acells. That's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Acells plays king of the hill, and he shows that he's got the skills to get the kills. That's going to be 5-4 in scintillating, sensational fashion. Vanquish answer back. They go up 2-1.
What look like heroic efforts on that initial call, and they got the first down on the side of VQ, but it was first and second blood that went over to Fire and Ice. So it was VQ able to hold off, stave off elimination on that initial, and it was Hndles. I think he was one of that lone members that stayed alive. He wasn't pressured too much, which was great for him because Acells went directly off of respawn, got his back anchor's position, and didn't allow those players to continue to press over and get that necessary angle onto Hndles.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really needs to be looked at again was the fact that late into that round, Precision gets that double kill by rolling up on that first downed player. He gets that kill, and then he immediately goes to the opposite side of the box, which opens up the angle from the up top to Lancer down, which makes him a little bit damaged. So as soon as he up-A's that next, it's not going to be a down. It's going to be a straight chunk. Beautiful job there. And then, of course, Acells, I mean, plays it to perfection. You couldn't have asked for a better, more monumental player in that situation than Acells, having to get 3 straight kills and gets all 3 of them.
Yeah, and I feel like that strongly comes from using your time wisely while you're dead. And when I say about using your time wisely, it's talking over strategy, realizing where you need to go, what that perfect rotation is. Like I said, Acells went towards the top half of the map at first, made sure that he anchored them there, and then with the rest of the respawners that did come through, everybody overextended towards the bottom half of the map, and that's exactly what you have to do when you know Fire and Ice won the initial towards the U. They overstacked 3 people, and they were trying to continue to move forward, so they knew that side of the map was open and theirs for the taking.
I really can't wait to see that highlight again. I mean, you see Dyslexic, he played this absolutely perfect. There's the meat, the melee, the shot on, the little bounce in, and there's the up-A to finish it off. I mean, just
a hot knife through butter.
The foresight to know every single move he needed to make was just fantastic. It's one of those situations where a lot of people may have made a misstep. They maybe clean up that kill with a shotgun rather than picking the meat. Maybe instead of going for the little fakey bounce and allowing for the shot delay to work in his favor. I know a lot of people hate that fact, but as soon as he kind of wall canceled there, it reset his shot, it recentered it. So when he got that hip fire off, he got the perfect shot on for the chunk, then hit that cubby, that up-A corner, came around and just blasted him from the pass like he was a lightning bolt to a DeLorean, baby. It was fantastic.
I thought you were going to say like a lightning bolt to the Nimbus 2000, but I digress to come through. And
I'm older than that.
This is where I go ahead and ask. Fire and Ice has definitely showed some life, even though they did lose that map. After that map number 1 beatdown that they received from Vanquish, where there was very, very little shines. I think you scored it like 11-3 or something. Do you think that that's just enough to kind of bounce back into another control? Or do you think with that victory coming through, another respawn-based game mode like control where it's respawn-based and not necessarily round-based like Escalation, do you think Fire and Ice are going to continue to build off of this, what they've been able to do? Or do you think they're going to get staggered out, they're going to get slaughtered out, and we're going to see a repeat of map number 1?
I think they have a better chance in this map simply because I think this is a better map for Fire and Ice when it comes to control. I think they're going to have a much better chance at coming away with this next victory than they did because I think District really favors how good Vanquish is at the team fire. When they can get together and play in the CQC and shoot the same person. I talked about it last night. It was one of the things that I saw them stumble with when it came to the Pittsburgh Knights, where they started taking 1Vs, where everybody was kind of shooting their own duck. All of a sudden, you saw everybody kind of line up the same bird and start taking shots on, whether it be with the pellets or the pistol. They did a fantastic job in that district map to get the shots on and play that Wolfpack game. So I think this map will be a better map for Fire and Ice. I think they have a much better chance of it, and they have played much better since map 1. They've really started to find themselves with that Lancer fire, with that team fire, and it put themselves back in a position to maybe tie this up to take it into that execution.
Yeah, and I also want to see them, especially with the way you saw Xploidz towards the very tail end, begin to heat up with the weapons, with that M-bar. He got a quick dome with it one of those rounds. Do you think they're going to play for the power weapons? Do you think they're going to heavy try to overturn that M-bar towards the top half, try to play for the frag? Do you think Fire and Ice is one of those teams, from what we've seen so far, that is going to play for the hill first, try to get the early lead, then play for rotations afterwards?
I think you got to play for the power weapons early on. You cannot give up power weapons to the side of Vanquish. They're just too strong with a lot of the power weapons. I mean, we saw it when they were winning the M-bar and the long shot in those couple of rounds. It wasn't just over. It was long gone. They might as well have just given the forfeited the round up at that point. They did not give up an inch. The only time that we saw a team win the initial power weapons and lose the round was Fire and Ice. So I just think that if you're Fire and Ice, you got to look at that and say, guys, we got to not just win the power weapons, but we got to be pretty solidified in our next rotation with the power weapons, not to get snuck, not to give away a bunch of the shots and not get any kills with them.
Yeah, even if you don't lose the overall team fight on that initial, but if you go down too many points, you're almost being forced to kind of trade off hill for hill for hill up until you either win that big team fight, whether you're going for offensively, or you win the team fight and defensively shut them down. And that's how you're going to come back from losing that big fight in the beginning, whether you're losing the weapons and the hill overall or just that hill. So you got to make sure to be very, very aware off of this initial to flip the spawns if you are spawning on that swarm side of the map, to make sure that if you're going to lose the hill, if you're going to lose the weapons, you have to get something out of it. And the way you flip the spawn is just go directly on the other side of the map. And you know, once the team gets the M bar, they're going to try to leave that side of the map. So make sure you can travel through that top side, try to flip that spawn, get deep into that one so you're prepared for hill number 2, which will be in the top right side of the map. So you got to make sure that you at least get something out of it if everything doesn't go as planned. But for Fire and Ice, I'm hoping to see a little bit more life. Even though I did predict Vanquish to win, I want to see that grand finals appearance is a progression in this team's life instead of seeing them kind of take a step back since that major.
I don't think we're going to see them really take a step back. At the end of the day, you look at the way that these maps are going. It's not like Fire and Ice are any kind of a slouch right now. Fire and Ice are one of those teams that are right there at the upper echelon. They are at the top of their game, and they are putting a lot of pressure on our current mid-split playoff champions, Vanquish. Vanquish has already lost once to the Pittsburgh Knights. You have seen that they can bleed. Fire and Ice, they're looking to be right there with Pittsburgh Knights, E United, those big boys at the big kids table, basically. I hate to say it that way, but we know that that's kind of how it boils down. You've got the big kids table like it's at Thanksgiving, and you got to find your seat at it. And sometimes you got to claw and scratch your way there. Fire and Ice has done that in the past, and they are not looking to give up that seat anytime soon.
I think that's well said. I'm just looking for these guys, individuals. I can already see that they are heating up as individuals. They just need to really put it together as a team. And I think this is the perfect map to test their teamwork as a whole. And if they even win by an inch, win by a mile, if they can go ahead and get those teamwork moments down, those defining moments, the holes, the offensive pushes, that can be just enough momentum if they force a game number 5 to almost make it be a dead even. Nobody has the advantage going in. And that's something that Fire and Ice needs with such a slow start that they had.
So here we go to Regency, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 4. Everybody is rolled out of spawn. 1v1 for the frags and the M-bar. 2v2 down here at the Rose Garden. Fire and Ice getting the first player to get down. Fearzly throws his flash over the top. Vanquish will have the early point advantage, and they will have the man advantage down at the bottom of the map. They're going to be able to continue to pressure out multiple players. Full red is Fearzly. He goes for the roadie straight, but he's going to get taken down. That's a full team wipe in favor of Vanquish.
This is where, even though there's 50 seconds left onto this clock, they can get about, I think they can collect around maybe at least 40 of them, get 50 points total overall, maybe more on the side of Vanquish. And this is where I'm going to be looking for Fire and Ice. You take too long to make a play for this one. You should be thinking to rotate over the top, but they have already 2 players in the position trying to cloud out that smoke, and a 2v3, 2 more trying to go around, sandwich and funnel these players in, but Toti already being taken down. He gets downed out. The trade coming through. Acells gets eliminated, but Xploidz going down. This is where if you're Fire and Ice, now you backtrack. You hold on to what you can for your team, but frag grenades going forward. Fire and Ice are being dwindled down. Vanquish beginning to get aggressive.
Icy Hndles trying to pressure up. Shots onto the back. Beautiful L. Triggers out onto Fearzly. Acells who's going to try to catch him going for the up A. Doesn't get the shot on to connect and get the down. But you see, they're going to continue to try to hold on to this bottom spawn here, which they do. They got to get a kill here on the BTO7i in the backside of the spawn. He is holding down this 90-degree angle. I think your best bet is to smoke him and then try to push forward and maybe get somebody to wrap around. Get somebody lost in the sauce to get shots on. BTO7i has officially let his presence be known back here, as well as Hndles will now know that he's set up in this situation. They're going to give up an early 10 to 20 points to the side of Fire and Ice. BTO7i is getting the Lancer down quite quickly. Fearzly is going to return fire there. I believe they threw a flash out, but another big down here. Precision is going to get revived up quickly. Slexic still playing inside of the hill. 2 players for Fire and Ice still alive here, and it looks like they're going to have to take the front side of the map. Here comes Fearzly. Fearzly is going to have to check anybody that comes in, but they're going to 3v1 Dyslexic inside of the hill. Fearzly's going to go for the pressure. He's going to get the down. That's a double down. That's huge. Can BTO7i rotate through the middle stairwell and maybe flip the spawns? No, not yet. Not in time. And that is a good retake there by Vanquish. Precision is going to get 2 shot down to BTO7i with a sneak kill. Has done his job for now.
Outing out Acells, trying to, I wouldn't say lose him into the fray of things, but definitely try to discombobulate and try to make him at least try to forget, not put that Lancer Fire down. 1 elimination going through, make that 2 as Acells does get taken out. Xysho fighting for his life. 3 players of VQ will fall, but the only reward for Fire and Ice is 19 seconds. That's even if they stay to bleed it dry. You see the rotation already coming through for VQ. That's going to be Precision trying to get deep into the spawn, but how long can he hold on? He is by himself. It's going to be a while before he gets any help, but Fire and Ice are not taking advantage. Finally, they get the down to come through, but VQ has now stepped foot onto the hill.
VQ is going to have to get a couple of kills really quickly here. Xysho's going to get 1, which is a good start for them. They need 1 or 2 more to try to flip the spawn. Big shot there onto Xploidz. The M bar is down. They're going to be able to probably get this revive. No, they don't get it off in time, so the M bar is off of the map right now. No, it isn't. Never mind. They did get the revive. I saw the skull in the area, and I thought the skull was the player with the M bar, unless he already had it out and they were able to pick it up. They got 2 more shots left for Dyslexic. 1 shot out. Won't be able to connect with that one. The 4-4 matched up right now, and every second is crucial. Every second out right now is big for the side of Vanquish as they continue to mount up kills and the hills, but it looks like Fire and Ice is firing back. They get a straight 4-man wipe, only giving up BTO7i to the gods.
40 seconds is not enough to gain the lead here in this situation, especially since you know they're going to kind of disperse with about 10 seconds left. But it's definitely enough to get them close. About even, I would say, to where the next team fight obviously is going to give one team the advantage, but Acells, he's going to risk his life with 30 seconds left to try to contest and waste as much time as possible. Like I said, they're usually going to leave with 10 seconds left, so imagine if he burned 10 or more seconds on the clock. That would give them such a bigger lead, or at least be able to hold on to one. The next hill going towards that top middle where you already see Vanquish set up. They have the across angle as well for anybody trying to push through. So Fire and Ice, they have to be picky, they have to be choosy about when they attack.
They have the 90 degree as well. I really think that those 2 players from Vanquish on the right side of this hill have to be the linchpin. Frags are going to be out. They're not going to get any kills. They get the second one, actually, and now the down comes through. They have picked off both players playing the backside of the T-table. Xysho is going to go down as well. The shots for Vanquish are just not true right now. They started off hot in this matchup with a good couple of downs in the Rose Garden win early. But right now, they are struggling to find any kills whatsoever. You see playing through the middle of the map, Hndles is going to get rotated on. They're playing a team game again, and this is what they needed in map number 1. This is the difference. This is what we talked about in the pregame. Fire and Ice has really found their step right here. Playing a team game, playing together, playing with the Lancers. Xploidz catches Precision on the up A attempt. The headshot kill, and now Acells tries to go for the roadie strafe. He gets 3v1. This should be a full hill hold for Fire and Ice.
Yep, you already see towards the bottom right half of the map, Vanquish, they can easily try to get another retake attempt, or at least try to create some disruption in the point gathering, but they want to make sure to anchor that right side of the map and try to get that spawn. But Toti is even deeper, making it hard for Precision to be the anchor that they need, but he's going to go ahead and try to bypass Toti. They still want to play onto this hill, especially since Xysho was able to get a double kill. There's 25 plus seconds left onto this hill. That's going to be enough time for Vanquish to reclaim the lead.
Well, here we go. Fearzly's going to rotate toward this side of the map. They're going to try to pressure in past Acells. They're going to try to get pressure onto him because they already have the spawn point. Good kill by Acells. 1 sneak has gotten through, and now he has to worry about, I believe, BTO7i in his way. The second kill's coming through for the side of Vanquish. BTO7i holding down that back cubby corner. Gets marked out. They're going to try to come from behind him as well. Try to get him to mount up. He's going to have to bounce around. There's nowhere really for him to go. He's going to be lancered on and taken down. Here comes Precision, having to fight off multiple players from the side of Fire and Ice. He actually flies through the offense of Fire and Ice to get to where his teammates are. He went to safety. Back A out, but a good trade there by Dyslexic. Getting 1 kill really helps them solidify in any chance of a retake in this situation. Xploidz now has the grenades to use in this next fight.
Where it's just going to slow down a little bit. Fire and Ice, they have to get back into position. Not only do they have the grenades, Fearzly just acquired that M-bar and connects towards the back line. That's going to make that Lancer hold that much harder. Toti gets taken out, though. He gets a little bit ahead of himself, and that's going to make Fire and Ice have to reassess the situation. Everything is going to slow down. Vanquish is being rewarded even more time thanks to that successful defense over Toti. We see the overextension in towards the middle. They're just getting caught out left and right. Vanquish is holding the line, denying all entry towards the hill.
And they're doing a fantastic job of it. Fearzly with the shots over the top of the M-bar. He has 2 left to go, but look at the downs coming through your kill feed. All blue for now. And Xploidz has to go ahead and make sure nobody can pick him up for a meat shield and steal that frag grenade. So he finishes himself off there. BTO 7i getting left to bleed out in the middle of the map, and the rotation's coming through. Acells is probably going to get caught out here in the middle. Bouncing around, finds one with a swipe, but now he has to worry about another one. Bouncing up toward that second player. Won't be able to get one. He only trades out for now. Acells crawling toward his teammates. You see Hndles having a backup. He was full red, almost goes down, but there's the grenade by Precision. He gets a beautiful double kill there on those stairs.
The double kill is just going to go ahead and lead them to getting this lead, and this is where they continue to stagger out these deaths. Fire and Ice, they have to take a second here to breathe. They have to take a second here to stop fighting 3v4 time and time again. Precision already knows Fearzly is there, sneaking around. On the other side, Hndles does go down, but Xysho doing his best to even it up. Only a down being rewarded for Xysho as he's quickly taking out the spawn point, going over to Fire and Ice. So those early players that they lost are quickly back into the action and bringing a disruption into this fight, as Precision and Acells both get taken out. The hill is now gone over to Fire and Ice with 45 seconds left. It's going to be about 150 point total depending on when they abandon this hill, so Vanquish will still have the upper hand.
I think right now Acells is waiting for that next M-bar, which he will get, and he's going to get double lancered once again, trying to be a little sneaky, trying to just get that in his grasp to get away with it. He's going to get cleaned up top side of the map, and that will give the M-bar right back over to Dyslexic, and now Dyslexic is going to be able to go over, help his teammates solidify the last 20 points, 190 to 160, and the Rose Garden is the next hill. Will they be able to get into this fight with the power weapons? They already have the M-bar, and they have changed it over to Xploidz. Okay. Extra button and push. You know, sometimes you're just a little fidgety, right?
It happens sometimes. That's the miss rolls come from. That's where you jam your reload, just get a little fidgety. That's when the pressure is definitely on, but Xploidz not feeling too much as he quickly ends one's life on a Precision connection with the M-bar. 2 more players in front of them, but they're going to go ahead and settle. They just want to crack up as much of this point total as possible. Now they dropped it to below 30, but Precision spawning back up. A 3-man push coming through from BQ in a moment, but he connects with another one on the side of Xploidz. Revving up, he connects with yet another shot. Hndles goes down, Precision falls as Xploidz is beginning to heat up. He's beginning to connect, and that is basically a team wipe for Vanquish, and this should be enough for Fire and Ice to be the first team to eclipse that 200-point mark.
I mean, I hate to say it, but they might be seeing shadows right now. This might be deja vu for Vanquish. They started out so strong against the Pittsburgh Knights on this map, and they started out very strong against Fire and Ice on it as well. But we saw both of those teams not only fight back, but overtake them in the late portions of the map to get a win. And if Fire and Ice win this one, it will be going into a map number 5, an execution to solidify this whole entire matchup. Vanquish getting shots over the top now, trying to get down on a Fearzly. Precision will already be revived once out. They've tried to rotate over here to get this initial on the next hill. You see Xysho pushing out toward the middle of the map, trying to help his teammates, but there's not really much room for him to go and not really much room for anywhere to get anything to go in this situation. As they try to rotate around, they're trying to help each other once again, but they're getting picked off one by one by one. And with that down on Precision, this will give them the initial on the hill and give them a big point advantage, 30 or 40 to go early in this hill's retake ability. And this could give them a 290-point advantage, up by 100 if they hold the whole thing.
Yeah, Fearzly better get his Nikes on and rotate that shock grenade as fast as possible. 2 grenades going towards the back line. I'm not sure if any of them are going to connect, but Dyslexic gets taken down. Precision, he just gets downed out due to that shock grenade. Fearzly, he just goes in. He's trying to brute force his way and clean up those eliminations, but he goes down. Xploidz does his best. He only gets 1. Toti by himself towards the backside, and I think that's going to be it. Toti goes down, and just as we thought with Fire and Ice able to take the lead, that thought has come to an end as Vanquish go ahead and get themselves control of the hill and 40 possible seconds.
I think you have to back out of this one, bow out a little early, because you can see how they've already rotated BTO7i over to the other side of the map. They've got that next hill in their grasp, in their area. Hndles is going to go down. If nobody can pick him up, that's the M bar off. Beautiful left trigger out by Acells, getting that down. Now they got to worry about one more. That kill is huge. Precision, by the way, is taking a 1v against BTO7i. Gotten the full team wipe. 20 seconds left on this one. Unsure if they're going to leave anybody in the area. They will leave Acells there to try to get as much as they can possible. Precision might need to go for a sneak kill here on the back of the stairwell. Not going to be able to get anything to go. He's not going to make it to that next hill in time to stop them. He's going to get double, maybe even triple lancered out if he's not careful. Here comes the over rotation. 15 seconds before they really have to push in, and the tide from Fire and Ice will come back into this. Here comes the smokes, the flashes, and possibly any retakes. The hill is about to spawn here, and it does. There's the cap up. And Fire and Ice hold on to this. Back A out from Precision. We'll get the first one. Beautiful job. Shock picked up down at the Rose Garden. Being brought into the next fight. Precision, top of the stairwell. They have to use, I think they have to use the shock on the stairs. They have to cut the reinforcements from Vanquish off from getting back into this fight. But you can see the over rotation from Fire and Ice into the middle of the map, Jacob.
Probably ask you at the end of this one, so make sure you're keeping tally. The amount of retakes that have been successful from Vanquish. It's not about the defense, it's about the retakes. They've just been able to kind of overthrow Fire and Ice left and right when they have control over that position. And nice place flash towards the right side. As I say, Shock Grenade is unable to keep that angle, but everybody towards the left side being the hero. Another full team wipe.
They can win.
And there's enough time. Yes, there's enough time left on this hill. Fire and Ice, one hope. Everything down to this. 20 seconds left on the clock.
And I love this. They've spread out now. They've pushed up a little bit. They're going to try to get a kill through the middle of the map. Fearzly has gone all the way to the top. He's going to try to get a close spawn in case anybody gets picked off early. He's just trying to make sure they have one more shot at it. Here comes the jump through the top of the map. Acells has been marked out. Fearzly trying to run. Here comes the frags. The double kill out. Two more players to worry about. Another down and another cleanup. It's up to Fearzly. He tries to go huge, but it's not in time. It's not enough. Vanquish settle this out in 14 full minutes. They get the win on control and get the win over Fire and Ice 3-1 or 2. 3-1. 3-1.
You were right the first time. Trust your gut. I know Fire and Ice put up a good fight, made it close, but 3-1 overall. Vanquish, like I said, returning to their championship form. And that honestly goes to show, even though Vanquish did win this one, how good PK is looking as well for yesterday's victory. This is what I like to see with United, Rise, Vanquish, PK, everybody playing to how they should, to their full potential here in Gears Esports.
Without a doubt, I mean, that is a high-octane game, 3-1, but make no mistake about it, Fire and Ice was knocking on the door that entire map to try to tie it up 2-2 to send it to that execution. Very impressed with them. It comes down to a couple of final team fights that Vanquish wins. They win 2 back-to-back on the top right hill. Then they also win 2 out of the 3 retakes possible. They rotate across the map. They have 15 seconds to waste. 2:45 to 2:30, the hill spawns. They push in about 7 seconds in. Precision starts it off with the back A. Then you saw them push into the backside of the 90-degree angle. Another beautiful retake by Vanquish. They get the hill, and then it basically boils down to playing one more good defensive setup. And my God, if they weren't impressive in those last 3 to 4 team fights, I cannot tell you what it was like to see them struggle and fall off through the middle of the map and really miss a lot of shots. I mean, it was bad in certain situations. Fire and Ice looked like they couldn't miss. Vanquish looked like they couldn't buy a shot. It doesn't matter how much money they've won in the past couple of tournaments. They couldn't buy some bricks through the middle of this map. But then they come out needing one more good couple of sets of team fights, and they get it to go. I am unbelievably impressed with the fight back from Fire and Ice, though.
Yeah, they definitely have shown that they do have life. And I want to kind of pick your brain, you know, give my opinion on it as well. That last second attempt, they had about 20 seconds left. Fearzly chose to go to the top half of the map. I understand layout. I understand the full plan of what they were trying to do. But unfortunately, in my opinion, Colin, they just didn't have the time. You should have thought about that before you gave yourself only 20 seconds. I feel like Fire and Ice would have been better off trying to brute force themselves straight through that middle and help each other in that close proximity instead of separating themselves at the very end.